Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, this is BestInSlot, and tonight I'm going to talk through 10 things that I think Frontier need to be prioritising to improve Jurassic World Evolution. We've had enough time with the game now to see its good points and its bad points, and as much as I love it, we all know there's definitely room for improvement. There's others I could have added here as well, so feel free to chime in with your own down below, and these aren't in any particular order. Let's get started. First up is a more informative dinosaur information screen. As of right now, you can't tell the population or social needs of your dinosaurs, or how big their exhibit has to be, or the balance of environments before you incubate them. Why? Some dinosaurs require you to breed at least 3 to 4 of them to be happy. If you breed 2 initially, then you're going to be racing against time to breed a 3rd and 4th to satiate your pickier dinosaurs. There is absolutely no reason for this information to be withheld from us, as it makes planning your parks substantially more difficult. Next up is the building placement. I think other players have started to notice this more now. You know, people gave me some stats about it at the start, but people have started to notice building placement in this game is incredibly finicky. If you're not clashing with an object, then 99% of the time you're battling terrain constraints, which could be as much as an ever so slight hill that you can't even flatten down. It makes some of the islands, Penna and Tucano in particular, really annoying to build on in places, rather than fun. Basically, it's needlessly obtrusive. Third up is something widely talked about, the animations. As beautiful as some of them are, as smooth, as sleek as some of them are, the excessive replication of them kind of ruins any impact they could have had. At the very least, each dinosaur should have a unique kill animation. I understand that these animations are a whole lot of work and require a lot of time and effort, but still, seeing all your big carnivores take down their foe in the exact same way as each other every single time just ends up looking a little bit daft. Thankfully we know the Indoraptor coming tomorrow does have its own unique animation set. Hopefully that's a good sign for the future. I want to bring in an outside image for this 4th one from Reddit user Steamblust. Steam has made some raptor skins based on the Lost World in Jurassic Park 3 and they are awesome. I want better and more varied skins for a lot of the dinosaurs in the game, but the raptors in particular are really damning, as not only are the existing ones incredibly boring, but it's clearly not that difficult to implement much more exciting ones. I do suspect we'll see something like this in the game eventually via DLC, but I don't think that excuses the currently super dull roster. I also want to point out that there was a thing from Frontier about why modding isn't in the game, and that's because the idea was people wouldn't be able to uphold the quality of the game as they've made it. I think this alone kind of disproves that, right? At the halfway point, let's talk AI. Occasionally these dinosaurs will do something pretty darn clever. Raptors will aim for weak fences, for example, but for the majority of the time they do nothing. They graze without increasing their food, they never sleep, they'll fight enemies endlessly until they die despite being low on health, and if we're honest, they don't really actually herd either. It's a shame that much older games than this have had much more complex and interesting AI behaviours, but right now the dinosaurs don't feel alive and interesting, they're just kind of pretty, and they are very pretty, but that's it. Probably a personal one this for number 6, but I want to see limits put in that restrict which dinosaurs can break out of which fences. It is a little ridiculous to me that Struthiomimus can break out of an electrified concrete fence if you give it enough time, rather than just, dying of discomfort or something. Evolution is very much built on the idea of chaos, but dinosaur breakouts are so obnoxiously common that by the end of the game they feel like a chore, not an exciting challenge. Some dinosaurs like the Indominus should be able to break out of every single fence, but should a Struthiomimus? Really? Not for me. Up to number 7, and this is definitely one I expect to be fixed, probably through some DLC down the line, attractions and decorations, or the lack thereof. All parks look essentially identical right now because you simply have no creative control. There's no benches, flags, plants, skeletons, mini exhibits, or anything to make your park feel and look good, as opposed to a collection of utilitarian buildings. Some people on a subreddit have managed to make some awesome looking parks, but they're battling against the system, not working alongside it as they should be. Number 8 is bigger islands. I know the size is part of the challenge as you progress, and I certainly appreciate that to an extent, but you feel hamstrung throughout so much of the game by the park size limits, and then your reward at the end is Isla Sorna, which, whilst I loved, it's a kind of a weird shape, and not really ultimate park territory. The counter to this is of course meant to be Isla Nublar, but, well, Isla Nublar's kind of small. Way too small. I've seen people fitting all 42 dinosaurs on Isla Nublar, and it required not only a lot of planning, but some very crammed and small exhibits. That really shouldn't be necessary in my opinion, and this is a problem that's only going to get worse as new dinosaurs are added to the game. How are we going to fit 48 dinosaurs onto Isla Nublar? It's too much. We need bigger parks. Speaking of Isla Sorna, as much as I do love it, it was my favourite park in the game, it needs more. Why are the only dinosaurs living there a solitary Spinosaurus and then 10,000 Stegosauruses? Why couldn't we have a few different Lost World and Jurassic Park 3 dinosaurs? I suspect it's so the island wasn't rendered too easy through dinosaur variety, but just 1 or 2 more species would have made it so much more interesting. Similarly, the environment is identical to the other islands. None of that telltale mist or redwood forest. Now that forest is definitely something that would require a lot of work, but as it stands, Isla Sorna doesn't feel like Isla Sorna. It's a Matansaurus with a thick ass mountain in the middle. Finally, number 10, we need a challenge mode of some description, something I believe Frontier are looking into. I defended its exclusion pre-release because I didn't think it'd be necessary, but having 5-starred every island in the game, I do feel the game is lacking a little bit in replayability. The ability to start fresh on one huge island, earn every single dinosaur, and upgrade in that one place and slowly, slower than now hopefully, max out our star rating would be greatly appreciated. As it stands, my desire to go back through every island in the currently very linear fashion the game is presented is pretty low. And there we go folks, 10 things I think need work on in Jurassic World Evolution. A lot of these feel like decisions brought about through lack of time as opposed to actual design decisions, so I'm optimistic a lot of this will be addressed in the coming weeks, and months, and hopefully years. Whatever the downsides, I've really enjoyed my time with Evolution, and I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on that Fallen Kingdom dinosaur set tomorrow. Though, God knows where I'm going to put them all. Thanks for joining me as always folks, throw me a like if you enjoyed the video and let me know what you think yourselves down in the comments down below. Cheers, much love, and as always, bye bye. Quick little shout out at the end, this video and others like it would not be possible at all without the support of you guys watching me at home and also everyone on this Patreon page right here who supported me in the last month. If you want to help out as well, you can do so at patreon.com/bestinslot. Every little really helps. Cheers.